All right, guys, it is a beautiful day in Sonoma County for sure. It is spring. We've had a long winter, and we have a little road project. So this customer shares this road with a couple other neighbors, and literally no maintenance has been done to it for a long time. And they have this pretty large rut that's forming just in this one stretch of road is all we're working on. And we're going to be carving out and widening the road essentially a little bit, moving the ditch further off to the side, and we're going to be installing one culvert here and bringing it out to the other side of the road, and just kind of continuing that down here. And that's the project in a nutshell. So let's get to work. So what I'm doing here is I'm just carving into the side of the embankment, and I'm making a roadside drainage ditch further off the path of the road, and that should eliminate this issue of the water just running right down the tire track mark. And just layering the dirt up onto the roadbed, and we'll be track rolling that for compaction, and this should work pretty good. Fortunately, there's some rocky material in here, so that should help. Unfortunately, the budget for this project's pretty low, and the property owners don't want to contribute towards a pad foot roller, which would be ideal to compact all this fill. So we're gonna track roll it as good as we can with the little mini excavator here, and probably put a layer of 2 to 3 inch drain rock over the top of it when we're done. And that seems to work pretty good for these ranch roads. finished wheel packing this with the work truck a little bit, but there you have it. Have the roadside ditch shaped, moved over further to the right, and we'll need a little bit more smoothing off, but I'm prepared now to start the process of installation of this culvert pipe. And according to the property owners, we have some underground utilities right through here. It's an electric service line along with 2 cable lines or phone lines. So got the little generator, got the roto hammer. I'm gonna do a little bit of scratching right where we believe the lines are to be, and then just start the process of hand digging gently and try to find those lines. And that's basically it. Did smooth out this transition right here. They have a water truck come down once in a while for filling these water tanks, and there's no way the water truck was gonna be able to make it the way it was, so smooth that out a little bit. We added a little water bar down there, and yeah, about to do some hand digging. Okay. So it's hard telling how shallow this pipe is, because in other parts of the road it's exposed in ruts and, you know, at the surface. So I'm hoping it's, you know, not that shallow, but at the same point in time I hope it's not too deep, because I'm gonna have to dig to find it. Well, you won't believe my luck. Here it is, only a few inches deeper than where my teeth on the excavator just were. Look at that. So the conduit should be right in here, right next to this. Good thing I didn't scratch any deeper. So don't always believe your utilities that you're trying to pothole and locate are 18 inches deep or whatever your local code is, because oftentimes they're not. Especially on old dirt roads like this, over the years, just the erosion and the wear on the road, trench lines that used to be 24 30 inches deep might be much shallower 20 30 years later, and that's why a lot of this pipe up the road is exposed. So good for me, I don't have a whole lot of hand digging to do. I'm just going to go ahead and get the rest of this exposed and see what we got. Get you up close and personal here with the get that done. Can you see that all right? There's the conduit. Can't believe how shallow this pipe is. Well, if you're ever locating utilities, especially electrical, you want to be careful, you know, what tools you're using to do that. Because even as I'm grabbing this metal right here and digging, if there was an exposed electrical wire in here, it's possible I could be shocked. So you gotta be careful. You can't just go wailing away like with a digging bar, for instance. Just gently getting that dirt out of there. So further up the road and further down the road, I can see this conduit in these two wires. And nowhere else do I ever see like two of these conduits or any more of these wires. So I'm pretty comfortable this is going to be it. But I'm still going to dig all the way underneath it and probably 8 inches all the way around it or so, just to make sure there's not a sister pipe lying in the trench underneath it. That can happen a lot. Being really careful, don't want to take the coating off these wires. Just really careful. Well, I'll get this exposed and show you what it looks like in a minute. You know, you're always guaranteed a workout doing this kind of job. And so, I don't mind it so much. Don't have to go to the gym after work. I think the only thing that's not good is this kind of digging is pretty high impact on the wrists. So over the years I could definitely feel it. Feel it catching up with me. All those years of hand digging, trenches, septic tank holes, everything. Everything you can imagine. Pier holes, fence post holes, footings. Never afraid to dig by hand. Never bothered me. Matter of fact, I'd rather be hand digging in a hole than doing a lot of other things, honestly. I'd way rather be digging a hole with a shovel than having to sit behind a desk. But that's just the kind of person I am. It's not that that's a bad job. Probably a pretty good job. It's just that I tend to fall asleep unless I'm being active. So we're getting it. I'm probably going a little overkill with this pothole work, but it'll make for a nice picture for the property owner, as I could take a picture of this and document that I located this. And if for some strange reason, as I'm digging the rest of the pipeline here, I hit something else, I have that picture, perhaps this video, for that documentation. So it's always good to take pictures, take video of your work. If you're a property owner and guys are doing stuff for you, take pictures. Take pictures as they're doing it. Take pictures after they leave for the day, whenever. Preferably take pictures when they are there so they could see you're documenting the work. I think that's important because it lets those workers know that, hey, you better do a good job, because I'm taking pictures of your work, and if something goes wrong, we got it on film. So yeah, here we are. So definitely no other pipes in the trench. It's hard to believe that the gentleman that installed this originally dug a trench 18 inches deep or 24 inches deep. It seemed pretty shallow. Seems pretty shallow. Anyways, these must be bone. Anyhow, I'm not prepared to dig the rest of this trench today because I have neighbors still using this road. They're coming up and down. So I'm gonna plan this out for tomorrow. Get the culvert pipe probably tomorrow morning early, and then just go to town digging it, get it dug really quick, set that pipe, get the dirt on over the top of it, so that if a neighbor happens to show up when the trench is completed, it shouldn't take too long to get the pipe in the ground. And yeah, looking good. All right guys, day 2 of my project, and I just wanted to show you this driveway that I'm working down. And this is a shared driveway, a couple different parcels down this road, but I wanted to show you how bad it is. You can see that some of the neighbors here use drain rock to maintain this road, which drain rock is not great for filling ruts or deep potholes because it has a tendency to wash out. What you really want to use is a road base, a material that has fines and something that compacts. Drain rock can be used kind of like a veneer to lay over maybe a little bit of a muddy stretch, but only really in thin layers. Especially on any kind of a road that's steep, drain rock without the fines just unravels and breaks loose and can almost be more of a problem than a benefit. So this road's just extremely brushed in. But here in a second we'll pick up the pace of this video, and you will see just how terrible it is, but definitely has not been maintained much at all, and if anything probably maintained incorrectly. For whatever reason, they have not done a good job at all of helping the water get off the road. So in some places on this road, the road itself is lower than the ditch, and that's like right to my left right here. There used to be a ditch in there, now it's just blackberries and scotch broom, but anyways, you'll see what I mean. What do we see here, guys? Exposed pipe, and the ditch is higher than the road. So years and years of neglect on this road. This road has literally worn down and has melted away to be lower than the roadside ditch. And that's what happens when ruts are formed and the water just runs down the road. and vehicles are using that road during the winter time, and the vehicles are squishing in and out of those ruts, and it's basically breaking the dirt into mud, and then that mud's washing away with the heavy rainfall, and the elevation of the road is literally shrinking year after year after year. And it's very important to keep your gravel roads maintained, otherwise this could happen to you. Today I'm using a our Spectra Precision laser. It's a dual sloping laser. Don't really need the dual slope today. It's a GL. It's a GL 1425C. And anyways, I'm going to shoot grade right here at the invert elevation of this, where I want to start the culvert pipe. And I have the laser set at 4% slope. It's probably more than needed, but it's good enough to keep the rocks and the dirt flowing through the pipe during heavy periods of rain. So get this thing set. Got the laser already spinning. So I'm shooting flow line right where the bottom of the culvert pipe is going to be resting. Tighten down the receiver. Now I can go all the way to the other side and I can find out where this pipe's going to daylight to grade. So what I've done is I've measured the 20-foot length of culvert, made a little mark in the ground where this pipe would daylight, and we got plenty of length on this culvert pipe. So I'm going to drop this culvert down just a little bit more to give it a little bit more coverage for vehicular traffic here. And I can also at this point actually determine with this laser what the soil cover would be. If we drop it down 2, 3, 4 inches deeper, that is right there. Have just about 12 inches of cover over the top of the pipe. And the laser isn't really necessary for this, but personally I like using a laser. It gives me a lot of control over the trench bottom, and also allows me to really predict well where the outfall of this pipe will end up. So that's why I like using the laser. I could just use a long hand level and start digging here, use that long hand level and keep the trench bottom sloped. But like I said, this allows me to know exactly where my outfall is going to be. Let's get to work. a high beep initially, you gotta lean that stick forward until you get a level beep right there. So that tells you that you're high. So we're gonna bring that grade down a little bit. Anytime you're using a reader stick, I have a lot of guys that I've worked with over the years, and they like just bringing the reader stick down really fast. And I try to tell them, hey, bring that reader stick down nice and slow, because that tells you when it starts beeping. It gives you, especially gives the operator better perspective. When the operator can see the stick coming down slow, and you can start hearing the beep, and you can see where the elevation of the bottom of the stick is, it gives the operator a lot of good information. At least that's how I like to do it. What I love about this little tiny excavator, you can hop on and off this thing super fast. It's really productive for small jobs like this. On and off all day long. So one other thing I wanted to point out is we do have a utility that we're going under, right? So that's something else to consider when shooting these grades with a laser and determining the elevation of this culvert pipe. So we want to make sure that we don't grade this whole trench and then run right into that utility. So I'm going to double check that. I'm going to put you into fast forward and slow it back down when we start installing the pipe. Guys, I got it in there. I had to wrestle with it a little bit because I needed to get it underneath that utility right there. So I'm huffing and puffing just a little bit, but got it in, and comes out really close to grade right here. Probably where this little twig is. Close to grade, so I might trough that just a little bit more. I have found over the years that one of the main reasons a culvert pipe will clog up is if the outlet side has blockage. So what I've seen happen is something will block the outlet of a culvert pipe, branches, twigs, duff, rock, debris, whatever, and then the sediment that the ditch is carrying down begins to pile up at the end of the culvert, and where the water will keep coming through, the water velocity slows down quite a bit as the material builds up, and as the velocity of the water slows down, the sediment drops out of the water, and that sediment begins to just fill that pipe all the way back up towards the inlet. So if you have trouble with your culvert pipes blocking up, filling up, be sure to keep the outlet side, the outflow, the downslope side of that culvert pipe nice and clear and wide open, and that will allow sediment to pass through and exit and continue on down the way. For this install, I'm going to use a shovel and try to dig around in here and get the best material I can. One of the more important things for me when it comes to installing any kind of a pipe is getting material under the belly portion of that pipe. Really helps give that pipe strength. So the belly portion, meaning from the midpoint underneath. So this is the belly portion of the pipe. It's like at the midpoint all the way down to the center. We want to get material under these two bottom sides and pack it in there as good as we can. This is a galvanized 16 gauge culvert pipe, I believe, and it's pretty strong. It's probably overkill, especially based on the kind of traffic that this road sees. But we're going to do that anyways and get you set up where you can watch me work up a sweat. Over and out. So as I'm tossing material in, I'm trying to put a little bit on both sides of the pipe as I go. So one scoop on one side, one scoop on the other. That's going to help keep this pipe right where I want it, right in the center. And if you're installing a culvert pipe and it's a 12-inch diameter culvert pipe like this one is, don't use a 12-inch wide bucket, use a 24-inch wide bucket. You want to give yourself some room on each side of that culvert pipe to be able to work that dirt underneath that pipe to give it support. Some of this stuff's kind of rocky, but I'm sifting through it the best I can. Decent amount of it. I could use the excavator to do this a little bit, but it's 10 o'clock workout hour, so time for my daily exercise. Picking out these big rocks. So I'm going to show you how I like to work the material in. It's a very simple tool. It's the butt end of this shovel right here. And I just go through at an angle and I get both sides like that. And not really much is needed, you know, just that little bit that I've done right there is super helpful. That's adding a lot of support for this pipe. And I suppose a better tool would probably be a digging bar with that flat butt end. But quite honestly, I get better penetration with just the butt end of a shovel, and later I could come back through here if I feel it's necessary and hit it with the bigger, broader, rounder butt end of a digging bar. But initially, I'm really trying to just get that material all the way to the bottom of the pipe on both sides. And one thing to watch out for, it's not going to happen with this pipe, at least I won't let it happen, but you can actually lift a pipe up and out of the trench by tamping underneath the sides of the pipe. And you got to be really careful of that. So if you're in a situation where you're working with a smaller pipe or a lighter pipe, you can tamp a small section, complete one little area, and then get backfill over the top of the pipe to hold the pipe down. Then you could move down a little bit, tamp another section, get that material worked in, and then get backfill material over the top of the pipe there, and just keep continuing that process down until you get the pipe totally bedded. Yeah, it's a real bummer when you bed a pipe so much that it lifts up out of the ground, because at that point you pretty much just have to cut the pipe out and re-dig the trench back down. Pain in the butt. But I'm not going to let it happen here. So just in the shade. Well, I'm going to go ahead and speed things up and get this pipe backfilled. Alright guys, I am done for today. We're going to be talking to the owner about laying down some rock over the top of this. The contract that we established was for putting in a water bar down below and putting in this culvert and ditching this out. And you saw in the video I found these rocks because there was plenty of them in the ground, and this really turned out nice in my opinion. There's this nice big rock right here that was embedded into the embankment, and that's part of the reason why I chose this particular spot for the culvert to cross. It made really good natural backing for the embankment. Sometimes if you have a steep embankment right next to a culvert inlet, sometimes that embankment will cave away and cave down and block the culvert inlet, and then you'll have water rolling up and going around the outside of the culvert and down the road. But those rocks and the way it's shaped now, I think that looks pretty good. So culvert on the outlet side, reshaped this little apron approach here for the water service people, water truck, and down there was a little base rock water bar. So that's it for this project. Hope you enjoyed watching, and please leave your comments below. Interested to know what you think. Give me a thumbs up, like it, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.